Greetings, YouTube. LMS Tactical here in my man cave with my squeaky chair. I can't masturbate in this chair because everybody in the house would know it. But anyways, yeah, so much to talk about and so little planned. I'm just going to shoot off, the cuff here, as I always do. I was checking my comments on some of the past videos, and one of the new subscribers was talking about how I can't stay focused and I jump around and everything. And that's so true, man. It's like ADD, I guess. That's like I said in my response to him. I'm pretty sure my mother was completely intoxicated throughout her entire pregnancy with me, so it's not really my fault. Clearly, the thing that's on everybody's mind is this whole 5 killed, I can't remember how many injured. Like many of you, I was watching it live. I was watching Fox, and God, it was frustrating. Megan, they had a split screen. They had New York City Times Square on the left, and they had Dallas on the right. And you could see that shit was coming unglued there, and things were starting to happen. And Megyn Kelly and her guests just kept on rambling and yelling at the TV, "Shut up." I mean, I could tell there was obviously a shooting going on. And of course, then, like all of us, we saw, before they pulled away, we saw the 3 officers down, which is always a hard thing for probably anybody with a heart. But if you've worn the badge, it always seems a little bit extra difficult because I don't know, man. I'm not going to get into that and make myself the focus here. I need a hug. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's always a very hard thing to see an officer down. I guess that's because I'm still old school. I still think the cops are the good guys. But I'm sure there's a lot of people that watch the news that were rejoicing. In fact, I see it all over YouTube now. People are excited and happy. So, where am I going to take this video? I mean, I don't think I need to talk about the tragedy and how screwed up it was, and how, obviously my heart's broken for the families and friends and the other officers that lost friends and all of that. I don't even think I need to get into it. So where should I go with the video? I mean, I was thinking about maybe going with the future of law enforcement in this country. Those that have been with me for a while know that I've made a number of videos talking about where I think police work is going in terms of how society is turned against law enforcement. And so now we've just upped the ante quite a bit, with the shooting in Dallas. I'm not going to structure the video. I'm just going to lay out some things as they come through my head. Who do I put the blame on? Of course, I put a large part of the blame. The majority of it I put at the feet of Obama. And it's not just because I can't stand Obama, which I can't. It's much deeper than that. I mean, without making this a 16-hour-long video, though I didn't vote for Obama the first time or the second time, but in the first time I didn't vote for him simply because I had no idea who he was. He literally just popped up out of nowhere. And I've said this in other videos. I'll repeat it for my new listeners. I was in Chicago in a hotel room when he won that election, and all the cars down below, all the horns were honking, and people were literally dancing in the streets. It was in a mostly black part of Chicago. Is there any other part? And I swear to God, I had the news on, and then I was standing at the window looking out at all these people rejoicing. And I actually got teary-eyed. I mean, I admit it, and I said out loud, I said a little prayer to God, and I said something to the effect of, "Father, I pray to you that this man turns out to be the best president in the history of the United States. I pray that he brings us all together as Americans and ends this seemingly never-ending racist bullshit that has gotten so much worse than it was when I was a kid." Okay, well, clearly God wasn't listening when I made that prayer, because Obama turned out to be thousands of times worse than I ever could have imagined. And how that pertains to this video is, you talk about a guy that missed an opportunity. He had a really good opportunity to be the hero of America in terms of race relations. But he's so racist and so militant, and he's such a passive aggressive closet Muslim and cop hating prejudiced asshole that he's just as incapable of being a uniter. He is a divider. That's what he does. And so when I say that I put the fault of Dallas at the feet of Obama, I'm not exaggerating. I think he's got lots of blue blood on his dirty, grubby little hands. And why do I say that? I say it because, you know, you talk about Black Lives Matter. Words matter. And when they come out of the office of the President of the United States, the ramifications are deep and broad. And we can see that here. You know, this guy that shot these cops, I mean, I don't know all the details, but in the dialogue he was having back and forth with the SWAT team before they blasted him with a chunk of C4, which I thought was extremely awesome. I hope that becomes like a part of the routine now of police departments everywhere. I hope that instead of negotiating with people, they just roll a robot in there and blow these fuckers up. But yeah, just before they blew that asshole up, you know, he was talking about how upset he was with the Black Lives Matter and the recent shootings at the police department. And, you know, these two black guys that got killed. When you have somebody in the office of the President of the United States, especially a black guy, half black, but that's, you know, neither here nor there, I guess. When you have him, he's done nothing but condemn police officers since the beginning, since he had the beer summit with that other officer that pissed off his judge friend or whatever the hell it was, college professor, buddy, whatever. So he's made it really clear that he is not a pro-police guy. And, you know, that message goes out not only to people like the idiot that killed these cops, but think of all the very young black kids who hear their idol talking about how black people can't go down you know, they have to talk to their children and because they're afraid they're going to get murdered by cops. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that for a second. These statistics are very close, but they're not 100%. I think in 2008, the last time the Department of Statistics or some department that gathers statistics came up with a number of, I think it was very close to 800,000. I want to keep track of these numbers, roughly. So approximately 800,000 full-time police officers are on duty in the United States. And for those of you from Los Angeles, 800,000 is pretty fucking close to 1 million. Then there's another 444,000 that are part-time, and that would be your reserves and such. And these are people with arrest powers. Now, those numbers may have changed. I'm talking about, this goes back to 2008. But suffice to say, we got over 1 million cops in this country. So let's, you know, I didn't even finish high school, and I can handle this math. We got 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, roughly 31 days in a month, 12 months in a year. Every single second of every single year, there are white cops from coast to coast and Mexico to Canada that are contacting black people for whatever reason, questioning them, helping them. Believe it or not, it happens. Domestic violence type calls, arresting them for drunk in public, you know, enforcing the laws. Cops that work in all black neighborhoods, like I used to, are going to naturally come in contact with 99.9% of black people because that's who lives there. You know, it's the old thing. If you work in Chinatown, you know what you're going to hear? Don't, you know, you're stopping me because I Chinese. You fucking with Chinese people. You don't like Chinese. No, yeah, I work in Chinatown, man. So I'm the only white dude here. Same thing with black neighborhoods. So for 365 days a year, and all the seconds that comprise that year, You have pink people like me who are coming into direct contact with black people in on freeways, in alleyways, on streets, in good neighborhoods and shitty neighborhoods. They're coming into contact with them, and they're not killing them. So this fucked up false narrative about white cops hunting down black people is a joke. I mean, I don't expect liberals and and militant blacks to even begin to understand this, and they don't understand it because they don't want to understand it. I was just saying this to one of my buddies on some correspondence. We were going back and forth talking about liberals, and I mean, and look, I was raised by some of the most fucked up liberals on the face of the earth. Okay, cop haters, military, anti-military, you name it. And look at me. I mean, I'm a former paratrooper, retired cop. Burp. Excuse me. Retired LAPD. And I can tell you, I know something about the liberal mind. And one of the things is that you can't ever debate with them about anything. And I'll get back to this black thing and the cop thing. But this is, look, I'm scatterbrained. This is one of the reasons I haven't made a video in so long. It's just so much. It's overwhelming. That, and I've been involved in some other stuff too. But anyways, the liberal mind is so fucked up. First of all, you talk to liberals, and the first thing they're going to do is they're going to protect and guard their hero at all cost. And by hero, I mean whatever the debate is about, or the subject or the argument. In this case, let's say we're talking about Hillary Clinton. Somebody that supports Hillary Clinton will support that idiot, that lion, thieving tyrant at all cost. And if you talk to them or you try to debate them, they will deflect with all kinds of weird shit that has nothing to do with it. They'll bring up the ancient history of slavery and the Trail of Tears with the Indians and the smallpox that Spanish people fucking put into the blankets and traded with the Indians, and how the Europeans were fucked up. And if they get closer, they'll talk about not Donald Trump. If you debate them with about Hillary, they'll bring up George Bush. Well, he did this and he did that, and on and on and on and on. And it's all, this is how they were taught. They've been conditioned by these fucking modern day slave owners, the ones that own the minds of blacks and liberals, which are very connected, to tell them that it's all about winning at all cost. Wasn't it Hillary Clinton's thesis or manifesto or whatever, where she quoted Saul Alinsky's "There is only the fight." They fight, and no matter whether they're fighting over a dinner roll or fighting over the office of the President of the United States, it's win at all cost. It's almost very it's the end, like Karl Marx, the end justifies the means. They absolutely will do whatever it takes to win, and they don't give a shit if there's no integrity involved, if there's no honor involved, if it's all negative. I mean, it's like I was telling this one idiot liberal, every single thing in history that liberals have been in charge of has failed. Every city has failed. If you look at Chicago, every state has failed. Every country that has liberal policies has failed. But yet they'll sit there and they'll fight to the end about how right they are and how fucked up you are. Cops, every second of every hour of every day of every week of every month of every year, contacting black people and not killing them, not shooting them, saving their lives, arrests without incident. This is happening right now. It happens when you sleep. It happens when you're taking your morning dump. On and on and on. When you are dealing with human beings, which cops are, you're going to have good ones and you're going to have bad ones. I can't, nor would I want to try to defend everything that every cop has ever done. There are some fucked up cops, and you know how I know? Because there's fucked up people. When you put you can take an asshole, some guy with no values and no morals, no honor, no integrity, and if you put a uniform and a badge on him, he doesn't suddenly become a good guy. He becomes an asshole wearing a badge. And it's been said by me many times, and I'm sure by others, that police officers are a direct reflection of society. So if you think your cops are fucked up, look in the mirror. That's where we draw our police officers from. I used to say all the time, there's no factory that spits out honest cops that have their shit together and don't panic and don't make bad decisions. Don't call people, names and shit. We do the best we can to select the best people, and just like teachers and lawyers and doctors and janitors and truck drivers, you're going to find it. All of that in police officers. Cops have been arrested and prosecuted for every crime in the book, from child molestation on to murder, to premeditated murder. But the numbers are so fucking low compared to the other groups that if you ran the same statistics. So this false narrative about cops are out hunting black. Listen, if cops were out hunting black people, you wouldn't be able to go down the street without tripping over corpses. You know what I mean? Think about that. With cops everywhere doing everything they do. Now, because most blacks are liberal, because liberals have conditioned blacks to be on their team, we're going to help you, we're going to get you free shit. None of it's true. What the fuck has Obama done for black people? Who was I listening to? I think it was Mark Levin. Somebody I was listening to the radio that had a good thing. He was saying, when Obama leaves office, what black neighborhood is he going to move his family into? Oh, that's right. He wouldn't do that, would he? What minority school did he have his daughters go to? Oh, he didn't. He had them go to some rich fucking private white school. On and on and on. So this is the hypocritical bullshit that the left, they tell you what you need to do, but they wouldn't be caught dead doing it. Obama, do you think he patronizes black-owned businesses when he goes on vacation? Fuck no. He goes up to the Maine or wherever where it's all lily white and he can walk around and be safe. So, it's like the truth doesn't seem to matter to liberals. Jesse Jackson himself said that when he walks down the street in the middle of the night, if he hears somebody coming up behind him and it's a white person, he relaxes. I didn't say it. Jesse Jackson said it. And if that pisses you off, take it up with him. So there's truth to this shit. There's reasons why there's more. And I know I'm jumping around, but these are the things I hear being debated every night on TV. Statistics about this stupid fucking fake group Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is based on a false narrative. If you remember, they were based around the hands up, don't shoot, which I think it was who was it? What's the guy's name that got shot? Whatever. It wasn't Freddie Gray. No, it was the other dude. The big guy, whatever. That turned out to be a false statement. Nobody ever said hands up, don't shoot, and got killed. That's not what happened. He jumped in there, punched the cop, was trying to take his gun, and got killed for it. So an organization that's based on lies and spouts lies, and it's all racist bullshit with this double standard. I mean, Black Lives, I almost said Black Lives Matter because that's how I refer to them. But Black Lives Matter put out a statement the other day, and they said about the shooter, because this guy that killed these cops was sympathetic to Black Lives Matter group. They said don't, something to the effect of don't, to let the actions of one define the rest of this large group. One person out of a large group is not fair and blah 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 blah. Yet they turn around and do that when one cop fucking does something. All cops in the country have to pay for it. So this hypocrisy, and most of these people running around saying hands up, don't shoot, they don't even know what the fuck hypocrisy means. Let's just be honest. So you listen to the news and they throw all these statistics around about, well, I think even Obama talked about it. He was like, yeah, well, the majority of people in prison are people of color. Okay, well, any caveman could walk out of his cave, and if you asked him why that is, would say, well, they probably commit more fucking crimes. Well, that's why the jails are what kind of weird system are we going to have where we're required to put equal amounts of white people in prison for every black person that we put? If we put a black person in prison, we got to put a white person in. We got to keep it completely even. What kind of society is that? What kind of law is that? This is the childish bullshit that it's holding our, not only our society, our species back. Hillary Rodham fuckstick Clinton just said the other day, just today, I heard a clip with her saying something to the effect of, people like me, white people, we have to learn and try to understand how it would feel to have to talk to our children and tell them to be careful around cops. Hey, here's the conversation you have. this is a conversation I had with my kids, and none of them have been shot by cops, is when the police stop you, follow the fucking rules, man. Do what you're told, and you probably won't get hit and you won't get shot for sure. Just do what you're told. You let the officers do their job, and if they make a mistake, you deal with it later. You don't settle it right there, because a police stop is not a debate. Number one, you don't know why they're stopping you. I'm not even going to get into these two specific shootings that happened most recently before the Texas thing. The one where the guy got shot in the car. Look, man, I don't believe everything that the girlfriend says. All I know is the camera started rolling after he was already shot, and I believe that he either had the gun in view or whatever and was reaching for it. When you reach for a gun, you're going to get shot. And just because you say, hey, I have a permit to carry a gun, you don't fucking reach for the gun, because that'll get you killed. Okay? Because every asshole in the world, if that was like a King's X and nobody could do anything about it, they would say, hey, I got a permit for my gun, and then kill you. So, it's easy to judge these cops. And I'm not saying that he was right, wrong, or indifferent, but I'm sure he was not out hunting black people. Now, as far as the other one where the two guys were wrestling with somebody and they shot him, to me, that's a no-brainer. I hear these stupid fucking liberal whites on CNN, and I hear these stupid black so-called activists and leaders saying, oh, man, he had a gun in his pocket, man. It was in his pocket. How could it hurt anybody if it was in his pocket? Blah. Excuse me, you dumb fucks. Listen. If I have okay, you're the bad guy. You got a gun in your pocket, and I'm the cop. Do you honestly think I gotta wait until that gun's out and pointing at me before I can respond to it? The use of deadly force is predicated upon a threat, a perceived threat, a rational or logical perceived threat of death or great bodily injury. It doesn't mean you gotta wait until you're hurt or bleeding or until you're shot. If I know you have a gun and you reach for it, I'm gonna shoot your ass. Okay? And when you're laying there dead, your gun's still going to be in your pocket. And so when they come and take the gun out of the pocket, all these idiots that have no fucking ability to think logically are going to say, oh, he didn't even have the gun in his hand. They murdered him. It was an execution. I mean, what? And you got this fucked up president who is a full-blown racist. You got Loretta Lynch. First of all, Eric Holder was a fucking criminal. There was a black dude in charge of the Department of Justice that fucked everything up and was a racist. And now you got fucking Loretta Lynch, who, I'm sorry, but she looks like about 10 pounds of shit stuffed into a 2-pound sack. I can't even stand looking at that bitch. And you got her fucking, getting her nose involved in all this shit. They're going to investigate the fuck out of the cops because the Black Lives Matter people burn down cities and shit. But they don't investigate all this black on black crime. And black people don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear about the black on black crime. Man, that's all business, man. We killing each other and shit. That's what we do. That ain't none of your business, man. Stay the fuck out of it. You know what, man? So I was gonna try and bring up the future of law enforcement. My prediction. And I'm sure this is gonna, first of all, you're gonna end up with more killings like this, unfortunately. Why anybody on earth would want to be a cop today, I really don't know. And this is where society is going to suffer greatly. Historians, if we're still alive, are going to look back on this era as the era that brought in corruption and bad policing like you've never even seen in a bad movie. When you have nothing but idiots applying for a job, guess what you get? You get a bunch of idiots. Anybody that's semi-smart on the job is going to retire if they can. And I'm telling you right now, I'm looking you right in the eye. If you're a cop and you can retire, get the fuck out. It's not worth the extra couple percent you're going to get by keeping yourself on the streets. And I'm sure I don't have to tell you this. If you're new and you're considering going into the police academy, go in the fire department. Fuck the police department. It's not worth it. I said long before these last two shootings, why in the world are white cops still stopping black people? I mean, I've probably got 3 videos mixed in the last 20 videos where I'm begging white cops to stop doing that. And, for whatever reason, they don't listen to me. I need them to subscribe so they can hear me. Send this to all your cop friends, because And citizens, listen to this, because this is where you're going to pay the price. If you're a cop and you're driving in your police car, la-di-da-di-da-di-da-da-da, 6-8-45, see the man, 415 fight, suspects described as two African Americans at 5th and Main. Okay, when you hear the call, officers, you say 6-8-45, Roger, and then you literally, if you're going 25 miles an hour, slow it down to 5 miles an hour. I don't care if you got to get out and slice your own fucking tire. You make sure that by the time you show up to that fight, everybody's gone. Everybody's G.O. motherfucking A. Because what do you care if they kill each other? It's not going to help you to go out and try to help them. And you're damn right. I'm telling you that you got to look out for yourself. This country, your own president has thrown you under the bus. Your own president doesn't give a fuck about you, whether or not you get killed like these poor guys in Texas. The Attorney General doesn't give a shit about you. The only ones that give a shit about you are your partners and other cops and your family. You're not doing any good by risking your ass showing up and trying to help people. Fuck them. Let them die. And I mean it when I say that. I have no sadness about it. These little pink lips have been locked around black people's pink lips and breathed life right back into them, man. When I wore the badge, I would have, and came close to doing it, would have died to save any person, whether they're black, white, Chinese, whatever. But now, no. You gotta look out for your number one. It's not worth it. Do you realize every time you open the door and get out of that police car, you're risking, the least that can happen to you is you get shot. But you're risking indictment, you're risking all kinds of shit. People are going to set you up. They're going to try and get you to hit them, going to try and get you to make a mistake. Don't do it. Don't do it. Some black people I heard just the other day were talking about they want black cops only in black neighborhoods. Thank you. Anybody with a half a fucking brain knows that that's the only way to handle this. I feel sorry for the black cops, though, because they're going to be Uncle Tom, sellouts, lawn jockeys, and everything else. You know, black people that are fucked up can't stand to see a successful black person. That guy's obviously a sellout, Uncle Tom. So it must be very hard for successful black people. I mean, I've seen it before where, you guy's a dentist or a lawyer or whatever, and it's, oh, look at Mr. Uppity, he's sleeping in the big house now. It's like instead of showing your kids, hey, that's how you can be, you need to aspire to be like that guy. They're like, it's fucked up. So the future of law enforcement is going to be nobody with any brains or compassion is going to apply for the job. And you're going to end up with absolute people that want power and people that want to carry a gun, people that want some payback. And, if you really want to take a good look at a society that has already gone through something like that, study South Africa. And for you people that are just ignorant or too fucking lazy to read a book, South Africa, you should know about apartheid. That was the segregation laws that were in South Africa when I was growing up. It was cut and dried. White people ran the country and black people were second-class citizens. Well, Nelson Mandela spent a lot of time in prison and blah, 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 and they ended up, capitulating. They got rid of apartheid. They gave the power to the black people, and the black people became president and blah, blah, blah. That fucking country is so rampant with rapes, robberies, murders, and crime and corruption from the top down. You can go on YouTube and you can listen to old black people that were alive under apartheid, and they literally will look right in the camera and say, man, I wish it was back the way it was. Because it was a nice, beautiful country. And now it's a fucking nightmare. And that's what's going to happen here, too. We got Islam on the one hand, and now we got our own internal problems. Imagine if we had a black president that would bring us together and unite us, None of you black people were slaves, and none of your fucking parents were slaves. So get over it, all right? That's just a fucking excuse. You've been taught to hang on to that white people owe you something. Nobody owes you a fucking thing, okay? So you'll figure that out soon enough. But the rage, it's like so many black people, they got to have something to be pissed off about, It's the struggle. I got to have the struggle, The struggle continues. You know what the struggle should be? The struggle should be you getting off your ass and getting out of the streets and getting educated and taking advantage of the best country on the face of the earth instead of tearing it down from the inside out, which is what you're doing. So, you know, I guess I got to wrap this video up. I probably haven't made any succinct points, but you're gonna see the day very soon when we're gonna end up with some serious national or nationwide civil unrest. And when I say civil unrest, I'm talking about rioting. This is what's gonna happen. You're gonna see, unfortunately, cops are gonna be getting killed. And you know, I'm gonna tell you this. I'll leave you with this. I've said this 1,000 times. For all you liberal fucks that think that it's really in vogue and cool to support all these Black Lives Matters fucking idiots, when you go to war against your protectors, when you turn against those that are trying to protect you, you're in for a world of shit. Mark my words, you're in for a world of shit. And I know the point I didn't make. I was talking about in the beginning, all the cops, 24 hours a day, blah, 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 blah. If you had a cop deliberately execute a black person every day for 365 days for 1 year, that number is still so small that it's not even perceptible in the chart of the millions and millions and countless contacts that white officers are having with black people where things don't go bad. So to paint all cops with the broad brush, you know, one cop shoots somebody, and this other bullshit. I mean, how can white people support Black Lives Matter when if you listen to them, they don't want the justice system to run its course. I listen to them being interviewed, their spokespeople. They don't believe in innocent until proven guilty. Not when it comes to white people or cops. They want to change the very laws. They want to, you know, they're like, no, we saw the video. The video speaks for itself. Oh, really? Yet when O.J. Simpson, when he was found innocent, well, you guys loved that, didn't you? That was great. But when the cops that kicked Rodney King's ass were found innocent, oh, the city burned, didn't it? It's like a big fucking group of little babies that if you don't give them what they want, they burn down the fucking school ground. How pathetic. I feel so sorry for fucking black people, man, to have their shit together. They must just be fucking humiliated, but they can't say anything. You know, wow. Some do. Some say it. And my hat's off to you. But yeah, you're going to get what, you know, you reap what you sow is the end of this video. So for you Americans that think it's really fun to, or especially the white people, I love seeing this. This is the best part, because remember, I was working during the riots in LA in 1992. And I know exactly what happens to these little lily white motherfuckers that stand out there with, you know, stop killing my, you know, somebody yesterday had a sign, stop killing my black friends, or Black Lives Matter. All you little white fucking pathetic trolls that are out there in these black groups with your little signs, and you think that you're getting points. When the shit erupts and you're out there, especially you chicks wearing your short shorts and your tits hanging out, you're going to be the first fucking people to go. I've seen it. You're going to be the first ones. They're going to eat you alive. And you'll be wishing that some big old redneck fucking pink fucking red-faced cop would come through the crowd to save you. But it ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. Because cops won't give a fuck. And brother officers and sister officers, if you are watching my ugly face right now, I'm warning you. It's not worth it. Proactive police work was something I did in my day. That's where we drove around looking for bad people to get them off the streets, because we felt like we made the streets safer when we could get a murderer or a rapist or a robber or a burglar off the streets. You can't do that anymore. If the suspect is not white, leave him alone. Let black people do whatever the fuck they want. And citizens, you just need to learn how to take care of yourself. Cops aren't going to be there for you. You gotta learn how to take care of yourself. That's it. Guys, I'm sorry I took so long. You know, if I disappear, it's because I'm working on my mountain property, and there's no internet signal up there. So I got a lot of work going on up there. Yeah, and that's it. This is already way too long. I hope this video made some kind of sense. If it didn't, kiss my ass. If it did, I love you. That's it. LMS Tactical. I'm out.